don't know about you, but I feel too quiet to walk up the stairs. Okay, I'm Billy, and let's get still. And we already are still, aren't we? I know, there it is. Yeah. But that's nice too, where it, whatever. Okay, daily word together. Comfort. I bring comfort to friends, family, and all humanity. Okay. And I think that next, but what happened to, there it is. Well, it's great fun to change. That's what we're all about. Okay. Blessed Spirit, thank you for the comfort. Thank you for the grace that happens when we're all together, knowing that your words have said, when two or more are together, you are in the midst of us, and you are mighty in the midst of us today. That is apparent, and we are grateful. We are knowing that whatever seeming challenge we may meet on this road of life, this path of living, you are greater than any of it. You are greater and give us the comfort and the grace. And we can only say thank you, that all is well with our soul. And we do this in the name and the power of the way shower, and for all of the grace that is apparent in our lives, the Christ within. Amen. And the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us, and wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you, Father, Mother, God.
Good morning. Is it on? All right. For most of you that don't know me, or most of you do know me, I guess, but I'm the board president. My name is Fred Clausen. I have a special announcement this morning. Around 2 years ago, when our congregation invited James to come and be our spiritual leader, one of the criteria that the board laid out was that James work as quickly as possible to become a licensed unity minister. And behind the scenes, over this 2-year period where he's been leading us and bringing our consciousness and our congregation back into focus and who we are, and connecting us not only with each other within our building, but with the community of Dallas again as a leader. Behind the scenes, he's been on the computer, doing applications, doing online classes, making trips to Unity Village. He's done all of these things. And I told him the other day, I said, it's probably a good thing you're doing them now, because in about 6 more weeks, he's going to be changing diapers every night. I'm not going to be having time for that. But what I wanted to share with you this morning is that this past Friday at Unity Village, James was granted in a ceremonial fashion his licensed Unity ministerial status. Now, James did this in a record amount of time, but it took a lot of work, and you know, a lot of us don't understand all that goes into not only putting our weekly agenda and service and running the church together, and then on top of that, doing all the things he did. So it was a very, very great accomplishment on his part, and so he is now a licensed Unity minister, and we want to welcome him one more time Reverend James Buchanan. James.
So I have to speak now? Okay. Oh, wow. It really is, it's not even strong enough of a word, an honor to celebrate this milestone with you. And I say celebrate it with you because so many of you were there, supported me all the way through it. And I'm sure I'll speak about it, the experience, a little more next Sunday. And somebody asked me about the experience, and they said, well, now that you were getting so close to licensing, did they sort of ease up on you a little bit last week at the Village? And I'm like, well, if you consider drinking through like a fire hose intense, then yeah, that's what it was, definitely. It was a lot of work, but so worth it, and it's just wonderful to be here today. And for someone who, honestly, I'm not so much into labels. I am about what Reverend means and stands for, but as far as labels, I don't get too carried away in that. And I was thinking, for a guy who doesn't care about labels, I sure have earned a lot of them lately. Husband, father, Reverend, ... And I was enjoying this morning pushing the stroller that was somehow up in my office today. And I told the 9 o'clock that when I was going to Unity Village last week, and I was going through the airport, and they were so friendly to me. And I was like, why are they being so nice? And then the first security person said, thank you, doctor. And then the second security, thank you, doctor. And it happened like at the gate like 3 or 4 times. And I was like, what is going on? I mean, my mother wanted me to be a doctor and have the handwriting for it, but that's about it. And I was like, what is happening? And finally I looked at my ticket, and it said MD on there. And I was like, wow, that license was so much easier to get than the Unity one. But the difference is I actually have to practice every day, this one, right? And we are about that at Unity. We're about practicing truth, and we're about practicing that Christ presence and what we talk about every Sunday. But most of all, love. And I super feel it today. But it's so amazing to have it here all the time, the consciousness of Unity just being love. And I got to tell you, I'm in love with today because not only about everything that's happened, but because today is like an extravaganza day. That's the only word I could think of. Of course, you called it a day of art expression. Did I say that right? Art of expression, because you're going to see a lot of art, love being expressed through art today. And several months ago, I was and really, I mean, it's kind of like what Billy said, whatever. Because by the end of today, especially if you stay with us all day, you're just going to be like, it's just love. Whatever, I'm feeling it, and that's the truth. And I met you guys at Unity Village when they were here for the Global New Thought Alliance. We got together, and it was just Global New Thought, people coming from all over the place, and you guys just really transcended everyone to another place. So thank you so much, Rosamaya and Paradiso, for being with us today, and I can't wait to hear and experience and share this with everyone today. Absolutely. And then for you to be teaming up with Bruce Cryer today. I'm confident that we are now brothers for sure. And Bruce, many of you may know Bruce as the founder of Heart Math, although that's actually incorrect as far as labels go. He didn't found Heart Math, like some people say, but he was on the leadership team that the founder asked him to be on to create Heart Math. And he was CEO for Heart Math Institute for 25 years. And then something happened. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what that something was, because you're going to tell them. But it is going to help you to open your heart even wider today. And I'm just so amazed with all that you have done and how he had this event happen in his life just a few years ago, a handful of years ago. And this event happened, and it forced him to go deep and to see what was trying to express through him in a creative way and a much bigger way. And so, to make a very long story short, of all that he's done since then, including has a new album coming out, a launch next month, actually, in New York. And we have access to some of your pre-launch CDs today. But also writing a book, and also, maybe his favorite thing is dancing. And he did not think, well, many people did not think he would ever dance again after one of his events that happened. And now he is dancing. And there is a rumor, especially a rumor by the guy that's choreographing a fashion show that's happening today during potluck, during the YOU food a little later today. There's a rumor that he might do a dance or a walk or some special appearance at the fashion show so you can see his skill. Yes, today. Definitely. Absolutely. Divine sisters, divine brother today, for sure. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So please give a heart-opening welcome to my friend and all of our friend, Bruce Cryer. Please come up.
We're just going to set the stage for a little bit of heart-based creativity for this short number before Bruce begins his part.
If we can become quiet enough, there is an alchemy in the heart to transform whatever pain or fear or suffering we may have experienced, and to alchemize that into love. When we are in nature, if we can get quiet enough, there is a frequency of life and energy and love in the plants, in the trees, in the flowers, in the animals, in the birds of nature. So now I invite us to get quiet enough to listen to that still small voice of the heart. And in the quieting, I invite us to breathe in a conscious way, to draw air in, draw life energy into our heart, and breathe in that energy of life, hold it in our heart, and as we exhale, let go of anything not of that love. Just let it go. And let's breathe in again, imagining we could breathe through our heart. Fill our cells up with that loving presence that is here all the time. If we can tap into it, hold it there. And as we exhale, let go of anything tired or fearful or insecure in us. Just let go. And breathe in again, breathing in all the love that's in this room right now from all the beautiful souls that have joined together here today, and for all of those spirits that are supporting us, even if we can't see them. And breathe in that love and hold it in our heart. And as we hold it, feel it expand through all the parts of our body and our brain and our cells and our muscles and our joints and anything that needs that light and that love. And as we exhale, let go of anything we don't want. And now breathe in again in just a gentle, even rhythm, breathing in love in and out through our hearts, so that that part of us that brings us here to unity, it helps us feel connected to one another, that part deep in our heart can come alive. And allow the breath to be like a bellows to fan that flame of love that is always in us, even if it seems like at times that pilot light almost goes out. Keep the fire burning. And let us be grateful in this moment that we are in a room full of people who all want to be here to share in this divine state of grace and of love, and have chosen to be here to share that with one another and with all of those people who are not here, who need that love so much. And just keep breathing in and out, letting our cells be nourished, reborn, revitalized. Whatever the week has been like for us, whatever we've had to deal with that may have been challenging in our work, in our family, in our health, whatever that has been, now is the time to replenish. Especially to deepen that connection to ourself, to the heart that is deep inside of us. And now we send that love that is growing in its passion inside our hearts. We send it out to a world that is so clearly in need of love, so clearly in need of healing, so clearly in need of peace, so clearly in need of harmony, of the lack of separation, of the lack of division. We send love from our hearts and from all of us in this room and all others who are doing the same thing now all across this planet, sending love to all of those who need it. which is all of us. And be grateful that we can be in a room together to do that practice. And just gently continue to breathe in and out through your heart, sending love to yourself again. To whatever part of your life needs a little extra self-care today, that needs a little compassion today, that maybe has been a little hard on itself. Let that love circulate within you even more. And we are grateful to the example of Jesus, and the example of so many prophets who have walked this earth, and people who never were known as prophets, but simply lived lives of love, that we can be here today to fill up, that we can be of even greater service. And I invite you now to gradually open your eyes and come back into the room. And with your eyes open, gently look to someone next to you or behind you and share a glance, share a look, share a virtual hug, just in case they might like that. Kiss on the forehead, as I see in the back. I think they know each other. And if not, enjoy it. I am so honored to be here and delighted to be here and to see all of these new, friendly, warm-hearted faces and hearts. And a special gratitude, first of all, to Tyler. I am here because of Tyler. Tyler and I have been friends for 3 years. And James heard about me through Tyler, and now James and I, as I had mentioned in the 9 a.m. service, he's my new BFF. Those of you who don't have any idea what a BFF is, best friend forever. So I'm thrilled to be here and delighted, and I feel very at home in Unity churches. I've been in many, I've performed in some, and just had the pleasure of experiencing the love of many. And this is family to me. You're all family to me, and it's a delight to get to be here on a Sunday. I've been gone from my home for 3 weeks, and the first time I've been gone from my love that long, and I'll see her tomorrow, and I can't wait to be home. But right now, I'm so excited to be here, and creativity is becoming my thing. And we're going to talk about that in much more depth this afternoon, but there's several things I wanted to share with you about that. And I've thought a lot about creativity because James alluded to this thing that happened to me a number of years ago. And before I tell you what that was, and it's, you know, a lot of us have gone through things like this or worse, but I have a very blessed life, and I'm sure many of us could say that as well. And in my case, a very warm-hearted, loving family, youngest of 5 sons. I don't remember ever having a fight with any of my brothers. Just that in itself is like weird. Having a father who was a pacifist in the Second World War had something to do with that, and a mother who was serving the labor unions in Detroit in the Second World War had something to do with that. And they were socially very progressive and all about love, and they wanted their sons to express the same thing. In the first service, I walked in during the rehearsal time, and Carla, where's Carla, was singing a version of the prayer of St. Francis that I'd never heard before. And Robert, is that you? Wow. But there's another Robert that I know from a whole nother context, and wow, how lovely to see you, brother. Wow, how nice to have you here. Carla was singing this beautiful rendition of the prayer of St. Francis. And since I was a small boy, the one prayer my father wanted me to learn was the prayer of St. Francis. So I've known it for 60-some years. And I had the chance a few years ago to visit Assisi, where St. Francis lived, and his whole sainthood was happening in that city. Got to visit the sarcophagus and had chills and tears and all kinds of things. And had many, many more experiences, even in the last couple of months, of this pull more and more to the life and the spirit of St. Francis, which is all about love for all creatures, and about nature, and about plants and animals, and the love of nature, regardless of religion, just pure love. And I have this very strong connection, like a lineage feeling, to the life and the message of St. Francis. And I walked in, and she's rehearsing the song of the prayer of St. Francis. Thank you, St. Francis. And I have just left, having lived near the city of St. Francis, otherwise known as San Francisco, which was my home for 40 years. And I now live in another city that's not quite like St. Francis, New York City. That's where I now live. But I love it. I actually love it there. But I've been very fortunate that creativity has been, I've been surrounded by it, and two parents who were very creative. My mother, an artist in every medium you can imagine. My father, a singer and a gardener, and just they loved beauty in any form. And so I was raised to believe I could express beauty no matter what. So the art of expression is a theme that has always been kind of, why wouldn't you, of course, do that? And then as I grew older, I realized so few people were raised with such an open, receptive attitude toward that. So many were raised saying, well, okay, I'm glad you like to sing, but try being a doctor. That's a lot more secure as a profession. Or try being a lawyer. You kind of missed it. Too bad, James. Not necessarily a minister, James. We were shut down. Our creativity was not encouraged, unfortunately, by many of us. Or maybe we went into jobs and had a creative idea for the company, and they said, you know what, Tyler, stick to the marketing. Don't get involved in sales. That's not your thing. We were shot down. So I've been on a mission lately to re-engage the creative power in each one of us, because I've thought a lot about creativity, and it started a few years ago because of this thing that happened, which I'm about to tell you. But I've realized that why, to me, creativity is such an important theme is that so few of us have tapped into the fullness of what we have inside us that are creatively, because it was shut down or discouraged or not nurtured or not fostered. And I look at humans as the ultimate in creation. We have the power of creation. We can create life, and there's one that's about to emerge. And if we have the power to create life, let alone our creating cells every day we're alive, new cells are being born inside of us, that didn't ever stop. New thoughts are being created, new feelings are being created. We are a cauldron of creativity, whether we like it or not. That's who we are. And yet this big chunk of us, for a lot of us, was shut down, thinking, well, but don't try that thing. Don't kill that impulse. Don't try being a poet unless you want to do it quietly. And please don't ever dance in front of anybody again, because so that urge to create and express was shut down for so many of us. So I was very fortunate through my life it was encouraged, and I was a musician when I was young. And then at one point I said, I'd kind of like to be on stage. And my music teacher said, sure, join the chorus. And a few months later, he made me the lead role in a musical in my high school. I hadn't even auditioned for it. And 2 years later, I was playing the lead role in the longest-running musical in New York City, a show called The Fantastics, which was actually written by a couple of guys in college at UT in Austin, actually, named Tom Jones and Harvey Schmidt. The Fantastics, those of you who don't know that show, is a charming love story about a boy and a girl, and I was the boy. So, just clarifying for you. And so every night I got to win the girl, I got to be slapped by the girl, I got to lose the girl, and then I got to win her back 800 frickin' times. I performed that show literally 800 times in New York City. And for those of you who think show business is glamorous, 3 or 4 times it's glamorous. 150, not so much. 400, really not so much. 800, let me do something else. I think that's, no matter how wonderful it is. So I had a very kind of blessed life and decided to leave that career completely. Went to California, got involved in my spiritual growth, primarily in my health interest. A few years later, was asked by the guy who founded HeartMath to join the team to be part of that marvelous organization. How many of you know of HeartMath already? Yeah, quite a few. And those of you who don't, it's been around now 28 years. We started in 1990, and to research the intelligence of the heart. And when I went through the series of things that I went through that I'm about to tell you, thank God I'd had all those years learning how to be in my heart and learning how to alchemize whatever was going on in conflict or fear or pain or whatever and turn it into love and turn it into acceptance and forgiveness and joy. So I was so grateful to be in that journey, and so was very much part of the team and CEO for many years as well. And then my life felt less blessed. Although in retrospect and now the life I'm living, I realized it was the biggest blessing I could have imagined, but it didn't feel that way when it was starting. When I was diagnosed with stage 1 bladder cancer, it did not feel like a gift. When I had the surgery and they removed the tumor and found out it hadn't spread, that felt like a gift. Then when they started the treatments for me and then I got my first staph infection, that did not feel like a gift. Then when I got my second and my third, and then when I got the fourth, when they said it's now in your blood, it's going to the hospital, now you have a life-threatening condition, that did not feel like a gift. But I'm here almost 9 years since that surgery, cancer-free the whole time. When I got the staph infection, they gave me this special award. They called it MRSA. Those of you who are healthcare people, you know that's like getting an MD, meaning that's the really bad kind of staph. That's harder to treat. So that's the kind I had, just to be special, and so that was really cool. Meanwhile, my body was under attack from all this stuff. I was dealing with cancer, staph in my blood, and I already knew I had arthritis in both hips. I'd been diagnosed with that a few years earlier, told I'd eventually need to have both hips replaced. And in the middle of 6 weeks of infusing through a PICC line a strong antibiotic into my arm, 6 hours a day for 6 weeks it took, my body was just like getting older and older and older, and I was feeling freaked out. That the youthfulness, the energy I'd always felt was like who I was like walking down the stairs. It felt like, literally like that, like my legs were shaking. I could not support myself. Fortunately, fortunately that was not the end of the story. And a few months later, unfortunately, my mother passed away. But in the aftermath of that, insights happened. A brother stepped forward who's a doctor, a biological brother to me, and I decided to have both of my hips replaced. So you're looking at a man with 2 titanium hips. Thank you very much. That was the dance he was promising earlier, by the way. I never imagined, my goal when I went through the hip replacement, it was 3 months apart. I never dreamed of anything more than just being out of pain when I walked and hiked. That was my aspiration. I imagined that once you have titanium hips, you're kind of like the Tin Man, you know. At least you don't have pain, but you're not going to be necessarily very fluid and very flexible and all that kind of thing. And then I discovered, no, I just have super strong hips. I know a lot of TSA people on a first-name basis. They don't call me doctor. I just point here and they say, okay, come on through. But I never imagined that my body would be able to get back to the point of flexibility where I could express myself in the way that I love, which is through dance. So I probably will do something during the fashion show. But regardless of all that, in this whole process, one of the hardest parts was the recognition finally, when I went deeper and deeper into my heart. Imagine, I was in and out of hospitals for multiple surgeries, staph infections, many treatments related to the cancer, related to the hip replacements, et cetera. Lots of time spent waiting for the next diagnosis, waiting for the treatment to take effect, whatever it was. Stuff that I'm sure many of you have gone through that or worse. And a lot of time to reflect. I did not look at this series as just physical things happening to me. I looked at this as, what is my soul telling me? What needs to change in my life? And I had to finally face the realization that as much as I had helped to birth this organization called HeartMath, as much as I loved leading it, I had to make a change. And I had to follow the spirit of my heart, which said, you have lost your creativity. And it was probably the scariest of all of what I went through, was the thing I had helped to build for 25 years. My heart was telling me, you need to now go past that. You need to re-express that creative soul that is inside you, and you can't wait anymore. Okay. Reinvent your life. Okay. Luckily, I'd done it before, so it wasn't like a total shock. However, this new phase was like, where is it going? I didn't have a 5-year plan. People, when I stepped down as CEO, people said, what are you going to do next? Heal. When I stepped down, I was actually about to have my second hip replaced. So that was ahead of me. So I knew, wow, there's a year each. just in terms of the recovery from that. But what was really bubbling up was this desire to create again and to sing again and to express myself in artistic ways that I had allowed to be shut down. Nobody told me I couldn't do that. Life intervened, and I got focused on other things. So as that spirit of creation started to come alive again, it was like once the genie is out of the bottle, you can't put it back. And so for the last 6 years, really, it's been kind of one creative project after another. And one of the things that I will share in more depth this afternoon is I was approached almost exactly 1 year ago by these two amazing millennial guys who have now become dear brothers of mine, even though they're old enough to be my sons. And they basically said to me, we know there's a lot of music inside you, and we want to help it come out. We want to help you create an album of original songs. I said, wow, what a cool idea. The fact that I've never had any interest in writing a song, should that have any impact on this? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, I should do this. Yeah, like this is the next challenge for me. I've never wanted to do it. And so why not have the first experience of writing a song result in creating an album that I would release to the world? Like if you're going to really put yourself out there, don't just attend a songwriting class. Go ahead and produce an album. The worst that can happen is no one will like it and they'll think you're a jerk. I've been through that before. So I thought that'd be a good experience. So part of what I really look forward to sharing with you is this journey of creation and creativity. And as I said, it's become my passion because, and I still teach heart math. Thursday I taught a class at Stanford. I've been doing that for 20-some years now, in the tools and the importance of heart math for our own balance, our resilience, all of that breathing I was asking you guys to do through the heart. That's all the years I've had with heart math. Breathing through the heart. It's something we're not usually taught to do, but wow, is that powerful as a way to quiet the fearful emotions that could be going on about our health, about our family, about our work, whatever it may be. Breathing through the heart, breathing in the love, breathing it out. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. As you're listening to me talk, you have to breathe, right? Had anybody stopped breathing when I started talking? No. So why not make it intentional? Why not make it conscious and breathing love in and out? Just do that gently while I finish talking. So it's become a mission, helping people find what I call their creative brilliance. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to become a poet or an artist or a dancer. Some of us are supposed to do that, yep. But in the process of even exploring that, things awaken. And that's what I love about it. When you start to tap into trying things that are a stretch. The idea of writing songs felt like a huge stretch for me. I'd written books, I'd written hundreds of articles, I'd written millions of words, but I'd never written a song. I thought, well, who's to say I'm good at writing lyrics? That's a whole different thing than writing a book. Then I discovered I loved it. You may too. You may like the lyrics. So anyway, there's so much I would love to share, but mainly today I feel so many things just kind of keep coming around and in ways that wink. It's like the universe winking at me, like Carla's singing the prayer of St. Francis this morning. And I'm in the nursery of the child that's going to be born soon. And her initials are the initials of my girlfriend. So on the wall, as I lie there in bed, I'm looking at my girlfriend's initials, and they're actually the initials of the child that's about to be born. There's just all these little things that like make you kind of melt. It's a very masculine pink. Maybe it's me looking at the pink through masculine eyes, I'm not sure, but it's so sweet. It's like the sweetest possible room to sleep in, right? So, and in honor of the child, and in honor of children around the world, I would like to share one last piece with you, which is a song from this new album. And it's called Bless the Children. And the music was inspired by these brothers who are my collaborators on the project. And I had a hand in the music, and I wrote the lyrics. And I thought this would be a nice way to complete this part of the service. And, you know, I mean, we always know that children are the future, right? That's always the case, no matter who we are, no matter what generation we're in, no matter what time of the world we're in, it's always the case. Right now, lately, haven't children even been more prominent in the news, unfortunately? And the strength of children to stand up for what they believe is right, no matter where you stand politically, and I really do not want to talk about politics. However, children are the future, of course. And I think we are asked, all of us, and especially those of us who have put a stake in the ground and said, we are about love, and that's everybody in this room. We are here because we believe in love. We know love is the power that unites us all and can transform life. So who especially needs to learn that, if not the children? So I would love to share this song with you called Bless the Children, and wherever hey, there he is, okay. I may glance at the lyrics, because even though I wrote the dang thing, haven't sung it that many times yet, so. Hit it, Robert.
They are the future we've known so long, still can't find a way. They are the tender ones we want to be strong. Why are we astray? We know the power of love and care. Time to find a way. Bless the children, keep them strong, give them all the love they need today. Teach the children, hug them long, teach them to be strong and kind and free. Show them how to love the ones that need their love and let them carry on from dawn to dawn to dawn. They laugh and play, blessed from above. Don't turn away. We can't go far without their sweet love. Please don't make them pay. Know the power of love and care. Let's begin today. Bless the children, keep them strong, give them all the love they need today. Let's keep going, hug them long, teach them to be strong and kind and free. Show them how to love the ones that need their love and let them carry on from dawn to dawn to Bless the children, keep them strong, give them all the love they need today. Teach the children, hug them long, teach them to be strong and kind and free. Teach the children, keep them strong, teach them all the love they need today. Teach the children, hug them long, teach them to be strong and kind and free. Show them how to love the ones that need their love and let them carry on and from dawn to dawn to dawn.
Thank you all. I was the youngest of 5. We lost 2 of our brothers, unfortunately, one to ALS. So it's been challenging, and yet the love I have felt as the youngest child of older brothers and older cousins has been very profound, and the love I feel for my daughter who just turned 31. That's impossible, but there is this being, and her birth certificate does say 1986, so it's really true, but it couldn't have been mine because I'm barely 40. So, barely. I just celebrated my 39th anniversary. 25th anniversary of my 39th birthday, pardon me. That's what I do, I'm 39. So, over and over. So, anyway, thank you so much. Thanks again to Tyler, to James. The beauty that I've experienced in this last 48 hours of being in Dallas, and the lovely people that I've met and have welcomed me into their homes and into your hearts has touched me beyond what you can imagine. And I'm so grateful that I'm not done. So I hope you can come this afternoon. We'll get into much more depth and experience and meditate and dance and music and all kinds of fun stuff. So I hope you can come. And if not, bless all of you, and I love you all, and keep love in your heart. This world needs so much more of it. Thank you so much.